Hey everyone, Once Bitten with another battle report. So these are my beasts against a army of dwarfs. First time I've played them in 8th that I can remember. And kind of an interesting list. It seems pretty fluffy. A lot of warriors, not a lot of, no anvil, not too excessive with the war machine. So kind of interested in seeing how it pans out for him. This is on my right side, his left. He's got a unit of warriors in the building. Now he has a lot of thanes in this army. I think that's a thane on the right side of the front row of that unit. Anyway, he's got a stone thrower and then a cannon, another unit of warriors, and this has a thane battle standard bearer. He's got 2 units of thunderers in the woods, another cannon, another unit of warriors, and this one I believe also has a thane. And then, unfortunately for him, his general, he rolled a 2, so it's on the far right, or my left side. He's got his real tough unit, a unit of hammers with his dwarf lord with the shield bearers. I don't know what's all on that guy and how tough that unit can be, but it certainly played to my favor that he had to start off way on the side like that. So facing him, I rolled my Tuscarora chariots way here, over here on the right side. Next to them, I have a unit of gore. This one I'm deploying 6x6. Just to see how that plays out. You'll notice in the back there's actually 2 Bretonnian mounted yeomen. There's one in this picture and the other one you can't see because it's on the right hand side. I figured they ran into the beastmen in the woods and decided to join them rather than get eaten. So there in the building I've got my Gore Bull battle standard bearer with 5 minotaurs, extra hand weapon. And the only reason they're in the house is because I just run out of room otherwise. I've got 36 Bestigor. I've got that hippogriff model is actually a razor gore. Say razor dawn, a razor gore. I don't know what models I want to use for that yet, so I'm just throwing that one in there. I've got 2 of my mages here on the left corner. So all in all, I have a level 4 with death and 2 level 1s with beast signature spell. I've got the herdstone just shy of this picture, and there on the left, I've got another unit of gore, and my general's over here. So both of us rolled with our general being way on the flank. And I don't like the matchup between a unit of gore with my general against a unit of hammers with his general. So not sure yet what I'm going to do there. I did roll for the, I believe it's Pit of Shades, whatever the spell is, where you take an initiative test or die, which is just beautiful against dwarfs. And so, the only thing I can really think of is to try to get that off once or twice on his general's unit. So for those of you who follow my battle reports, I finally got a little bit of painting done on my Bestigors. So this front row, I didn't completely finish them, but they are 95% done. So, we're getting there. So dwarfs go first. He moves just a little bit, as you can see. This is a picture from his side of the table. And what it didn't show was his general's unit actually moved straight ahead. You can see it here, kind of. Look at the upper left. His general's unit actually started marching around that's a Temple of Skulls, I believe, which is interesting because dwarfs don't move very fast. And so if he's trying to outflank me going around that's going to be tough going. Anyway, his cannon shoots at my razor gore and wounds it and only does 1 wound. So thought that was kind of unfortunate for him. Beastman turn 1, I move up. Now there in the middle is a scree slope, and I swear I have a mental deficiency. I forget stuff all the time in games, so I forgot every turn that was a scree slope, and so I was marching over it, charging over it, doing everything I could to take as many dangerous terrain tests as possible. So otherwise, yeah, I'm just moving up. What you gonna do? We go to still on Beastman turn 1. I'm certainly not looking to take these chariots into the front of that warrior unit, but I like the thought of bringing him up here so he thinks I might. I think I'm just out of his, or just, be tough for him to get the charge on me, and then I can maybe support a charge on the left warrior unit, and maybe if I get lucky on a cannon. So on dwarf turn 2, he shoots again at the razor gore, hits it again, and again does 1 wound. Just insane. Over here on this side, I believe I have a chariot missing, so a cannon took that out. And we go to Beastman turn 2. So obviously a lot of charges going on all over the board. On the top left, the Razor Gore and my general's unit charge that one unit of warriors, and his his hammers with the general are not positioned to flank me should his warriors hold. Remember he took them kind of the outside of that hill, so I probably would have done the charge anyway. But as it is, I really have no fear about what he could do to me if I don't break him on the charge. On the right-hand side, my Gore charged his unit of warriors. My Minotaurs failed their charge, and my Bestigors failed their charge and lost 5 guys to dangerous terrain tests. I think I had to take maybe 11, and I failed 5. So here's a close-up of the left side of the board. It looks like my Razor Gore is facing left. That's just because he wouldn't fit otherwise. He's in their front. Here's a closer look of all the failed charges. Yeah, so we got the +1 strength and toughness buff on these guys. This is on the right-hand side, and this is on the left. So in both cases, I won combat, but it really didn't come close to breaking them. And so if he were set up for counter charges, that may have gotten ugly for me, but he wasn't. And I really think he's really new to 8th edition, and just wasn't prepared for those counter charges. So that really hurt him. So we go to Dwarf's turn 3. Now he's trying to set up his counter charges. It looks like his thunders are falling. His hammers are all falling down. That's because they literally fell off. They're not dead or anything. But it took him this turn to reform and then move. And again, that was just a major mistake, thinking he needed to go around that temple to get to me. I don't think he'll make that mistake again. So over here, he had to reform these guys, move them up. So wait another couple combat rounds, hoping to charge. This time the cannon targeted my level 4, and so he's sitting on 2 wounds, 1 wound left. There's no cover to be found, so really he's just going to die. The reason he's over here on the left-hand side of the table is because he had to get in range to try to cast the Pit of Shades on his hammer unit. So I figured it was worth the risk, and it's not paying off so far. So here on the right-hand side of the board, we're continuing to fight. I'm winning this, killing some of his guys, but just really not breaking them. Here on the left, my general's unit was able to break this unit of warriors, and my Razor Gore was unable to run them down. But it's his turn, so on my turn, that Razor Gore can charge him and make him flee off the board. My general's unit just reformed. I just want to get away from his general's unit, and the best way to do that is to charge somebody, because you can go further, and then hopefully beat him, and then overrun, and just get the heck out of there. My goal is for his general's unit to never see combat this game. And so we'll see how that goes. So after that, it was my turn. So my Razor charges his warriors off the table. My general charges a unit of Thunders. I lose several to stand and shoot, but we get in that combat. The Minotaurs, looks like they failed their charge again. I'm not sure who they were charging, but they have a couple wounds on them between shooting and dangerous terrain tests. The Bestigors, they were 10 wide, and I realized they easily could have made the distance to that warrior unit that's fighting my Gore. The problem is, being 10 wide, they couldn't fit. That if they got in there, the Thunders in the woods were in their way, so it would have been a failed charge regardless. So just so frustrating. So I just reformed them 6 wide so they can actually maybe do something this game. Yeah, there's the Razor, I guess I'll say Razor Gone. The Razor Gore chasing that unit off the wood. This is my general's unit with the Thunders. Yeah, just different angles. And my chariot made it into his cannon on the right. So when all's said and done, General beats and chases down his Thunderers. The Gore at the top beat his warriors. Were unable to chase him and run him down, but they did get a charge into the flank of the Thunders in the woods. So I'm okay with how that's turning out. This is a picture taken from his side of the table. You notice his chariot is gone. His cannon is gone, and my chariot on my next turn will be able to charge his stone thrower. So Dwarf's turn 4. If you look at the top right, his warrior unit decides to charge into the rear of my Gore unit, and that's a little bit scary. Look at the left, his general's unit with all those hammers, I think they charged someone, and they failed their charge. Otherwise, they just moved up. Either way, they were so far away, I wasn't worried about it. So if he did charge me, I just stood there. Yeah, I really kind of think that was a failed charge. So charge in the rear has me more than a little nervous, but I am toughness 5 because of the signature spell for the Lore of Beast buff on them. So I think I'll be okay. We'll have to see. His cannon finally picks off my level 4. And at the end of combat, I don't even know who won or lost. I did a bunch of wounds on him. He did relatively few on me. He's strength 3 against toughness 5. So, he had ranks on me, a charge, a rear bonus. But I believe I was steadfast. No, I wasn't steadfast. Yeah, regardless, whatever happened, I think I just did a bunch of wounds on him, and so I easily passed my test. So we moved to Beastman turn 4. I reformed the Bestigor to face his Hammers unit. And here, I'm just being a little bit tricksy. I have no intention at all of fighting my Bestigors against his Hammers, mainly because I might be able to beat him, but I'm not going to break him. And with his Lord kitted out, I think he's going to hurt me. So I'm just trying to make him think that I'm ready for him and try to get him to charge them instead of charging my general's unit. The Minotaur is going to charge into the flank of the warrior unit, as you can see. Here's the view from the Hammers to my Bestigors. Yeah, it's a blurry picture showing off that I actually got some painting done. Here we go. Minotaurs into the flank of his warriors. He's toast. He doesn't have a chance in that combat. My Tuscarora chariot into his stone thrower. That's going to go well for me. General's unit just turns to face his warriors, so they can get a charge there, hopefully. After combat, you can see he's missing a lot of warriors. But nobody's worse than Minotaurs in terms of trying to chase somebody down. They can't even catch Dwarfs. But if he rallies, and he will, I'll just charge him again. And on this side of the table, let's see. The Gorge tried to chase down his Thunders, didn't even come close to it, so they are, as you can see them. And there's an overview of the board. So, Dwarves turn 5. His Hammers charge my Bestigors, and I think he needed a 9 to make it, and I just wasn't willing to take that chance, so I just fled. And he redirected against something farther away and failed his charge. So I was okay with that. His warriors, who rallied previously this turn, charged into the flank of my Gore unit. Yeah, there we go. Discretion is the better part of valor if you're a beastman. And up close with the battles going on, he did rally. So my guys start off Frenzy. The red token means they have an extra attack. So their base 3, extra hand weapon is 4, Frenzy is 5. They've won combat once, so they've got 6 attacks from everybody on the front row. And then, of course, my Gorble has more than that, so they're pretty tough. So yeah, that's not going to go well for him. His cannon misfires. So this combat, I don't know if he won or not, but whatever happened, I think even if he did, regardless, I held and was able to reform. And so on my turn, I'm going to get the flank charge with my general's unit, and either way we should beat them, run them down, and get further away from his general's unit, which is kind of what I'm hoping for. So Beast turn 5, I actually decided just to reform my general. I didn't want to take the chance of something happening, his general's unit getting the charge on me. So the way this is, I'm out of line of sight from his general's unit. And so I thought it'd be safe just to preserve those points and not take the chance. Minotaurs and the chariot charge into the warriors in the far right. I'm very confident I'm going to do well there. And I do, and because a chariot's there, I actually run down the dwarfs. So at the end of combat, it is, as you can see, I was really hoping to have my Gores would win, but yeah, that wasn't going to happen. So this turn, it's Dwarf turn 6. My Bestigors rallied on my turn. He charges him again, and he again needs like a 9 or a 10. I decide to hold this time, and he fails it, like he, odds were that he would. So after that, I won all the combats I was in. The only thing he had left on the table is a cannon, 4 Thunderers, and his general's unit. If we had played to my turn, I would have beat the Thunderers and got a few more points. We decided just to end it there. So it was a pretty smashing victory for the Beastmen. You know, I really think a lot of that hinged on his general's unit starting out so far away and then him taking him even further out of the action that, being the movement of a dwarf, he just really couldn't take advantage of his most killy unit. So, I think that alone really made it. His units, dwarfs did hold up pretty well. I charged into him and didn't break him. He just wasn't prepared to countercharge. And the one time when he did countercharge, he got me in the rear. I had buffs on my unit, and he wasn't able to do any wounds. And then I was again able to re-countercharge. So really just kind of some bad luck all the way around for the dwarfs. Anyway, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it.